Road monkey like Fritos. Road monkey like Tab and Mountain Dew. Road monkey, very simple man with big, warm, fuzzy secret heart. Road monkey like you. Road monkey like you.
Hey, me again. Hey guys, what's up? It's me, the Media Raptor, and welcome back to another episode of the Media Raptor Reviews. Tonight, you guys, we're going to take a look at a 1996 horror movie, a sequel to a movie I reviewed about 50-ish episodes ago at this point. A movie I thought was amazing. And now we're following up with the sequel. Tonight, we're taking a look at Tales from the Crypt presents Bordello of Blood. Wow, that's a long title. So for simplicity, I'm just going to call it Bordello of Blood. Also, real quick thing, if you don't understand what that title means, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this now. Stop watching the video. You're clearly too young to understand this. I'm probably too young to have watched it, but my life is messed up as it is, so I watched it anyways. But yeah, if you don't understand what that means, don't watch this video. Don't look it up. Just trust me, you'll understand when you're older. But anyhow, you guys, Bordello of Blood is the sequel to Demon Knight, technically. It's part of the whole Tales from the Crypt theatrically released movies. And when I watched Demon Knight, I loved it. I thought, this is a great horror movie. It's fun, it's campy, it's cheesy, it's goofy, it's scary. And then I kept hearing about the sequel, Bordello of Blood. Everything I heard was, it sucks, it's unfunny, it's boring, it's not Tales from the Crypt, it's just a bad movie. So I was kind of on the fence if I even wanted to watch it in the first place. At one point I considered making it the 100th episode, actually. Then that got pushed away for the sake of Mortal Kombat. Then I considered making it the 150th episode, actually. Why? So you have to excuse my buddies down there. I'm in a dorm now, if you didn't understand that. Because I got it on VHS at Value Village for about 50 cents. Really wish they had Demon Knight as well, but hey, take what you can get. Especially if it's on VHS and it's a classic horror movie, take it when you can. And it was in great quality. Well, the box was in good condition. And I actually had filmed that episode, but I didn't like how it fully turned out. In fact, if you would like to see the original 150th episode, comment down below. We want to see the original 150th episode, and I'll release the Bordello of Blood reaction and review 150th bash, which would have been the 150th episode, but it got kicked out of the way because I got something much, much better lined up. And I think you guys are going to like it. Anyhow, let's talk about the movie. So the story... Well, let's talk about the framing device. You know, what every Tales from the Crypt story begins and ends with. It doesn't have one. Sort of. One thing which I praised the original for was the fact that it actually opens with the TV's intro, the classic Tales from the Crypt theme song, going through the cemetery downstairs and the Crypt Keeper jumping out laughing insanely. This one begins with a really weird story about a bunch of people going on treasure hunting, only for one of them to betray them to a vampire queen who proceeds to kill them all. However, this turns out, it's actually a pitch for a movie the mummy is telling the Crypt Keeper about while they're at lunch. Funny, yes, but not Tales from the Crypt style because the intro wasn't there. That was my main problem with it. If the intro was there, that would have been better because I love that intro so much. It's a classic. What do you expect? Anyhow, the Crypt Keeper segments, normally I would never talk about this because, well, they're all unique and they're original. This one isn't. I can't name the episode, but there is an episode with the exact same intro and outro as this movie. Don't know if that's lazy or if they thought it was just such a classic they wanted to do it again, but they had an original one for Demon Knight, so I'm kind of wondering why not Bordello of Blood. Even what I've seen from Ritual, because that movie is demon hard to find, please just release it on Blu-ray already. The first two are on there, and it really upsets me that I haven't been able to find all of Ritual yet. I don't own Bordello of Blood on Blu-ray either because, well, the one place that sold it went out of business because HMV went belly up for some reason. Anyhow, the actual story itself is an interesting one. I want to look this up, actually. I forgot to look this up. This came out in 1996. Hang on. From... Oh! Oh. Huh. From Dusk Till Dawn came out the same year. Okay, that argument kind of goes down the toilet. I kind of felt like this movie was just, From Dusk Till Dawn, just with a bit more comedy than that one. Granted, I haven't seen all of that one because I only saw like 20 minutes of it on TV and then I had to go somewhere. I don't even remember what. I don't know, I think that may have been before I had to break out of the lab with Scourge, but whatever. Yeah, so it's kind of the same idea. It's about this case, it's a bordello, because the name Bordello of Blood, which happens to also be it's a funeral home which moonlights as a bordello where all the women are dominatrix vampires. That's a sentence I never thought I would say on camera. I've had a lot of those recently. Anyhow, so it's about this girl actually who's looking for a brother, and a private detective who's looking for the brother who at this point has obviously been killed. We know that because we saw him die, and he was kind of an asshole, so he deserved it. And there's also a televangelist who is working with the vampires to get rid of the sinners. Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that. And then there's a whole host of characters. We got, like the person who runs the funeral home, Lilith, the queen vampire whore, I think they called her, I think they actually called her the queen whore. And I don't like saying that on camera, but whatever. We have, what's his name? I'm sorry, it's the actor's name that I can never remember. There is essentially a midget character who's a lot of fun. And I've seen him in other stuff. I hate just calling him midget character because I feel, Phil Fornicaro, that guy. He's been in a lot of stuff. He was in let's see here, Walker Texas Ranger, Blood Dolls, Hercules, the animated series, The Creeps. He's been in a lot of he was in Polar Express actually. And the only one which really would stand out probably to a lot of us would be Evil Bong. Don't ask about that movie. It was just weird. If you know it, you know it. But if you don't bother watching it unless you're a stoner. And it's sort of it's a mystery, horror, survival story with a lot of comedy in it. Now, what exactly does this movie do differently? Because if you want to make this kind of plot original, well, what do they do differently? Well, I certainly believe that the televangelist was original. I do believe this idea they have that vampires can wear sunscreen and are then fine in the sun is a unique idea. I believe the idea of the vampires actively going out into the world to try and find people is unique, and I think the most unique idea this had, which was kind of a cool idea, is that there is a jewel, or was it the dagger, the demon dagger? I think it may have been the demon dagger in the intro, and then the rest it was just a jewel, but essentially which controls the vampires themselves. And when that jewel is shattered, they're not under anyone's control, and they can go crazy and do whatever they want. But as I said, there's a lot of comedy in this movie. Now, about 80% of the jokes are great. About 7% of the jokes are laugh-out-loud hilarious. The other, that'd be 13%, so 3% of the jokes are just like, that was funny. And the last 10% range from, okay, that was kind of funny, to, oh, that was just painful. So, points for trying. The main character, he kind of has an arc. He's sort of a jerk at first, but then he kind of changes, becomes more likable. The televangelist changes and becomes a likable character. He wants to actually do the right thing instead of just murdering sinners because that's what God tells him to do. Either way, my point is, the characters which you need to care for, you care enough about, and the people you hate or you don't want to like, you don't like, which makes it all the more satisfying when they die. Acting, it's hammy. The writing is decent enough to be a serviceable movie. It has great humor, some unique ideas, and one thing which I'm not getting to yet, because it's kind of both effects and music, I'll cover that in a minute, the acting is cheesy and hammy, and it's just fun. 90% of the actors who are told to be cheesy don't reach like Shatner and Bruce Campbell levels, but more reach Rutger Hauer in Hobo with a Shotgun levels. Maybe a little bit below, maybe a little bit above. It's not like ultimate B-movie cheese factor for acting, but it certainly is goofy and will make you laugh. There are a few actors who are just obnoxious, namely the main character's brother who gets killed, and his friends are super annoying, but that's kind of because they were played that way. Special effects. This movie does not shy away from gore, because it has an R rating in Canada, which is really something surprising, because so many movies that are rated R in the United States get 14A or 18A ratings. Like Deadpool was 14A over here, Sausage Party was 14A. I think Hobo with a Shotgun is the only movie I can clearly recall, aside from Midnight Movie for some reason, that has an R rating on home media in Canada, because our rating system is just weird. Canada, land of the free. Free beer, free healthcare, and free poorly designed rating system that will obviously traumatize children when we give a horror movie a low rating so they go and see it. Fun. Yeah, so there's a lot of practical effects, which it's Tales from the Crypt. You're expecting it to be good, and it is. Stuff like throat slashers or hearts ripped out or limbs being blown off. It's gory, it's cheesy, but it does work. It doesn't look like Evil Dead levels of fake that still works. It actually looks competent, which is something the show is good at, is balancing the competent effects with the goofy effects. This leads to the best scene in the entire movie, the one which I want to talk about now. Kind of a spoiler here, but I don't care because it is amazing. So, the private detective and the televangelist, they decide we have to team up and take down all the vampires. So they break into the Bordello at night, armed with water guns filled with holy water. That is creative and that is funny, and they start a complete and total massacre while Ballroom Blitz plays. And not a cover, the actual Ballroom Blitz. Kind of jumping in the music here, but I love that song, and that scene was so much fun, because the vampires, when they get hit, they're just sort of caving in and their heart falls down, or there's one scene of just a pair of legs just walking by. It's clearly CG, but it does work for what the movie is. We have heads exploding, we have people bursting into flames, and it's just goofy, cheesy fun. That scene in particular is worth watching the movie just for that one scene. Music. I complained about this earlier, there isn't the famous Tales from the Crypt theme. For some reason. You had the Crypt Keeper. It's called Tales from the Crypt Presents. Why not the theme song? Did you not have the rights for it or something? Did Danny Elfman take the rights back for some reason? I don't think he would. It just really confuses me. There is an easy solution, though. Simply take your iPod or iPhone, which is what I got, and pause whatever you're watching Bordello of Blood on. Then you go like this. Sorry. You get my point. You punch in your code, go onto YouTube and type in Tales from the Crypt theme. Search, find the intro, play it, and then hit pause it right before it begins, play the intro, then hit play again, and it'll kind of feel like the theme song was in the movie, even though it wasn't for some reason. That really annoys me. Anyhow, you guys, what else is there? Lighting? Well, there's club scenes and stuff, so the lighting makes it look like it's sort of a crazy place. Actually, speaking of which, the actual club they end up in, because I'm tired of saying the other word, it's got this really gothic horror feel to it, and it looks really cool. Like, really cool. Like, unique, original, interesting, as do all the character costumes when the vampires are doing their stuff, or they're actually turning into their full-fledged vampire monster forms. It looks really good. The costumes are great. So is the mummy costume at the beginning, and fun fact, he's actually played by one of the actors from Demon Knight. Man, how did I forget talking about this? John Cassio does an amazing job as the Crypt Keeper. Enough said. The Crypt Keeper puppet looks great. He looked great in the last one, although it was a little weird seeing him walk, but in this one, he's just sitting there. And the puppet, it's the guys who have been doing this for all this time. It works. And there also are a couple of really cool callbacks. Like in the opening scene, in the dude's bedroom, you actually see a Demon Knight poster. I really want to get my hands on one because I would love to have that on the wall back here or something. Like a Doom poster or something. Just, something so it doesn't look this plain. Then again, not sure I could because this isn't my room, but whatever. What else was there I wanted to talk about? Camera work is fine. Lighting, I talked about that already. Editing's fine. When it gets down to it, can I recommend Tales from the Crypt Presents Bordello of Blood? Yeah. Demon Knight is better in my opinion. It's a better movie. Better humor, better story, better characters. But this one gets a solid 2.5 raptor claws out of 4. It's nothing fantastic, but I'm a die-hard fan of Tales from the Crypt, and it's more than serviceable. It's a fun horror movie. It certainly does not have the same impact on me that Demon Knight did. I still want to find it on Blu-ray, though, because, well, I want to support Tales from the Crypt being released on Blu-ray. Seriously, why isn't the show released on Blu-ray already? It's one of the best TV shows ever made, and it's clear you guys have the rights because you're releasing it on DVD, so why not on Blu-ray? Sorry, had to get that out. But, yeah, it's worth checking out. It's got its flaws, but it's also got what makes it fun, so check it out and let me know what you thought. And until next time, you guys, this is the Meteor Raptor saying keep cool, and I'll see all you dino dudes around. Later.